A lot of people wait for the perfect condition to start, not knowing that starting is the perfect condition. Inaction has single-handedly destroyed more businesses before they even got started. It destroyed more relationships before they even got started. It destroyed more self-esteem before it even started than anything else in this entire world. Don't play yourself at the end of the day, because experience, repetitions, doing the work is what actually counts. Nothing that stays in here has ever solved any problem in the world. It has never become $1 million idea, has never flourished into a good relationship, has never made anybody a greater man. It's what you put out into the world. The only work that really matters is the work that no one sees. Everybody's gonna see the end result. Everyone's gonna see the yearly revenue, the yearly profits, but no one's gonna see the 60, 70, 80 hours that you put in a week to do that. No one's gonna see the amount of relationships that you sacrifice to make that happen. Nobody will ever see the 3 to 4 hour sleep times that you've had to do for 4 months straight. No one's gonna see that. No one's gonna appreciate that apart from you. You know that you've done that. You know how much work you put in. You know how much you've had to sacrifice. You know how many nights you've had to go without sleeping a good amount of time. And that's okay. An ungodly amount of work is required to have outcomes that are different from what everybody else will get. At the end of the day, the only person that you'll be lying to is yourself. As much as you think other people care, everybody's in their own bubble, everybody has their own life, their own problems, their own successes. No one really cares. And if you're out here doing things just to get external validation from someone else, you're fighting an endless war. God would not allow that which you lost to be the best you'll ever have. Real quick, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the like button, drop a comment, subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. And if you're listening to this on a podcast platform, leave us a review. It'll help us out big time, and it'll let us know that you guys actually like what we're putting out. All right, let's jump right in. Hey guys, we're back. As you can see, we have a brand new setup. Not really sure what I'm going to do with this space yet, but we will find out. And just kind of wanted to give you guys a update, I guess, on how things have been. You know, the amount of episodes that I've been putting out has been quite shaky a little bit. That's just simply because there's just been a lot going on. Life gets really, gets really busy, gets really hectic and stuff. A lot of changes really quickly. But I think that's just kind of how life goes. So definitely looking forward to getting more stuff done. And yeah, so let's get straight into this update video. I think in the past couple of months, I've only had about like 3 to 4 uploads, and I wanted to make this upload a little bit different than that, right? Just me, you guys, whoever's watching. And I wanted to talk a little bit about things that I've been thinking about lately, like different concepts, different frameworks of how I'm altering things that I view, opinions that I have, and how I see the world essentially. Because I feel like if your opinion about something or your view of something doesn't change over time with different information, different points of view, or just different inputs coming in, like if nothing changes, are you really learning? Are you really adaptable? Are you actually growing, or are you staying still and neglecting all this new information, right? Not saying that, you know, your morals and values should change. I think that's kind of something that doesn't really change. But when it comes to different subjects, whether it's how you, I don't know, treat people, how you talk, how you express yourself, how you present yourself, things that are a little bit more important that are towards more of the outside world and not your own inside world, I think those things really can change as you not only grow, but as you meet different people and as you evolve through your life. So one of the things that I've been like harping on lately, and actually for quite a while, the past few months, it has been the concept of actually taking action. Now, I've talked about this before. A lot of people wait for the perfect condition to start, not knowing that starting is the perfect condition. Now, I am a victim of this. I wouldn't say a victim, but I do this, and it's tough, right? You get stuck on analysis paralysis. You get stuck on trying to figure out everything, trying to predict everything, trying to control all the variables. Now, whether this is in a relationship, whether this is in your business, whether this is like in the gym or whatever, Getting stuck over analyzing, over preparing, and over predicting stuff leads to inaction. And inaction is the killer of passion, is the killer of dreams. Inaction has single-handedly destroyed more businesses before they even got started. It destroyed more relationships before they even got started. It destroyed more self-esteem before it even started than anything else in this entire world. There is a wealth of information nowadays, whether it's online, whether it's in books, whether it's just people, word of mouth. And often having so many of those inputs coming at you 24/7, literally from the time you wake up to the time you close your eyes at night, you have just been bombarded with like infinite amount of information, whether it's stuff that you might need, whether it's stuff that you might not need. And it's kind of crazy. Like some of it might not be your fault. Others might just be you with your ADHD mind, with your like wanting to control everything. And I can relate to this because I am literally like this. And it's definitely a struggle, but the more you guard your attention, the more you guard your own kind of bubble, the more information you actually restrict from coming in can help. And it sounds a little bit counterintuitive, but it's true. The more information you block from coming in, the more outside perspectives you block from coming in could actually help you out, right? Obviously, preparing, planning, analyzing, those are things that are very, very, very important when doing anything in life, right? You don't want to go in blind. You don't want to go into anything without knowing what the potential risks are, but you also don't want those potential risks to stop you from doing the thing, right? Because doing the thing is the only thing that is doing the thing, right? Planning the thing is not doing the thing. Analyzing the thing is not doing the thing. Constantly thinking and worrying and stressing and freaking having anxiety over the thing is not doing the thing, right? The only thing you can really do is do the thing. You can learn absolutely everything about this thing, but if you don't do it, then you have never done it, right? Your brain has this tendency of giving you the same chemical response of you planning, analyzing, and doing all this. It gives you the same response as when you actually do the thing. So don't be a fool and don't play yourself at the end of the day, because experience, repetitions, doing the work is what actually counts. Nothing that stays in here has ever solved any problem in the world, has never become $1 million idea, has never flourished into a good relationship, has never made anybody a greater man, right? It's what you put out into the world, right? So guard your inputs, and give more outputs, right? Even if you mess up, even if everybody gets mad at you, even if it turns out that it's the wrong thing to do, well, guess what? Now you know. Now you have time, you have experience, and you can actually uh, reiterate, adapt and overcome and eventually succeed. So don't wait for the perfect condition, because the perfect condition is actually doing the thing. There's this other concept that I'm not sure if I heard it somewhere else or if I was just like, maybe, I don't know, scrolling or someone told me this, but it says, life is like the gym. If you look to your right, you'll see someone who's doing way better than you. But if you look to your left, you'll see someone who will die to be in your position. And this is like a humbling concept that I have was seared into my mind the moment I heard it, because it's so true, right? We always want more. We always want better. We always want to keep going, right? Not just like us, man, but woman, everybody like just wants more, wants better, right? And whenever we don't get that, we complain, we cry, we're like, why me? Why me? Why me? And understanding and accepting the fact that there will always be someone better than you. No matter what you do, there's someone bigger, there's someone stronger, there's someone smarter, there's someone richer, there's someone that's more happy. Understanding that that's just reality and that this is not a competition. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's you versus you. It's your past versus you now, and your future being better than the now. Like, I think people only get frustrated of how they are living and how things are for them because of either external validation from people that are where you want to be, people who are doing better, kind of like envy a little bit. And it's like, why them? Why not me? Why are they getting handed this and this and that? Right. I think that everybody has their unique selling proposition, or like everybody is unique and because of some certain thing that they either have, are, or do. And using that to your advantage would probably be the best option in that case. But going back to the framework before I divert anymore, I think that taking a slice of humble pie every now and then and understanding that if you are anywhere in a like even 1% better than yesterday and a couple percentage points better than you were last year or a month ago, I would say that's a green flag. I would say that that's a step in the right direction, right? Because there's a lot of people that are going through worse things. I mean, the fact that you even live in a country like America, the fact that you have like drinking water that like makes you more fortunate than like 90% of the world or something like that. The fact that you have access to free Wi-Fi, well, not free Wi-Fi, but like the fact that you have access to Wi-Fi, food, water, the fact that you have shelter, like that in itself puts you in the 1% of population in the world. I mean, about like think about it, among 8 billion people, you have literally a 1%. You are part of the 1% of 8 billion people, right? And obviously that's like a small number, but that's still like billions of people. You really gotta think about this. But yeah, dude, they say comparison is a thief of joy. I would say tread that line very lightly, because comfortability and being humble are two different things, right? When you're comfortable, you don't want to progress. You don't want to get better. You don't care to be better, right? You don't see any upside to it. And if you do see any upside, you think that it's very hard. And so you get very comfortable and you don't keep upgrading, which, I mean, if that's your goal, then sure, go ahead. But for most people, that's not it. Being humble means that you know what you got, you know what you're working towards. And when you do get it, you remember where you came from. You remember how you were, remember what you had to do to get to that point. And take a slice of humble pie and there's no point in showing off. There's no point in making anybody else feel worse for being in the position you've been, but you've passed and maybe they're struggling and you help them out. That's what being humble is. There's no point in showing off. You're not doing that for anybody else other than yourself and public validation. And honestly, like, it's just a bad look. So take a slice of humble pie. I'm telling you from experience. Hey, real quick, if you're still watching or listening, congratulations. You don't have the attention span of a goldfish. And it also seems like you like what you're listening or watching. So why not subscribe, leave a comment, like, or if you're in a podcast platform, leave us a review. It helps us out more than you think. All right, let's get back into it. Next concept. We don't rise to the standards we have when no one is watching. We fall to the standards we have when no one is watching. The only work that really matters is the work that no one sees. It shows you who you really are rather than who you say you are. Now, this kind of did hit me a little bit, because earlier in the year, obviously there was a point where I was just like nonstop working, nonstop making money, nonstop doing the things that I had to do. And then after a while, you get a little bit burned out. And you have all these people that are coming to you because you're a motivation, because you shown and proven over and over again that you are what you say you are, you do what you say you do, you walk your talk. And it comes a time where you're human, like you get tired, like things are not easy, right? And you suddenly feel like a hypocrite for taking some time off. You suddenly feel like you have lowered your standards and you feel like you are not doing enough. And that might or might not be true. But I think that falling to the standards that we have when no one is watching is something that you should keep in mind. Like, when no one's watching, when there's no video about it, when no one is recording, how do you act? Do you act in the same humble, loving, caring way? Or suddenly do you flip the script? Do you become more arrogant? Do you become more self-centered? Do you become less selfless? Is your drive any different? Do you not want to do the things that you did before, said before, right? Like, are you a hypocrite essentially? And if the answer is yes, I think it is okay as long as you do the work necessary to change that. I don't think it's okay if you just accept that and keep doing it, knowing what you're doing, right? Obviously, life gets busy and you often forget that, you're messing up, or you don't see it unless it's in retrospect or someone calls you out. And honestly, we all make mistakes and fine. But like it said, the only work that really matters is the work that no one sees. Everybody's going to see the end result. Everyone's going to see the yearly revenue, the yearly profits, but no one's going to see the 60, 70, 80 hours that you put in a week to do that. No one's going to see the amount of relationships that you sacrifice to make that happen. Nobody will ever see the 3 to 4 hour sleep times that you've had to do for 4 months straight. No one's going to see that. No one's going to appreciate that apart from you. You know that you've done that. You know how much work you put in. You know how much you've had to sacrifice. You know how many nights you've had to go without sleeping a good amount of time. And you've known how many days you've gone without, doing normal people stuff, right? And that's okay, because that's what's necessary that's what's necessary. That's what's required. An ungodly amount of work is required to have outcomes that are different from what everybody else will get, right? You can't expect to get different outcomes by doing the same thing as everybody else, right? That's just unrealistic. So if you want different things, you gotta do different things. It shows you who you really are rather than who you say you are. At the end of the day, the only person that you'll be lying to is yourself, right? As much as you think other people care, everybody's in their own bubble. Everybody has their own life, their own problems, their own successes. No one really cares. And if you're out here doing things just to get external validation from someone else or from other people, then buddy, you're fighting an endless war, because there will always be someone better. There will always be someone ahead. And doing things for someone else is just, it's no real satisfaction. So do things for your own. Walk the talk. And do the things that you say you're going to do. Take action. Now, this one is a little bit faith related. And it says, God would not allow that which you lost to be the best you'll ever have. Now, this is something that I either experience a lot or think about all the time, right? Whenever something goes wrong, I'm always like, God, why me? Why this? Why that? And I focus on the why this happened to me and not why did this happen to me. Like, I'm thinking like, I either want some kind of response, some kind of like purpose, some kind of like, is this happening because I've done something wrong? Is this happening because I'm trying to learn something from it? And sometimes the answer is not clear. And sometimes you might not even get an answer. But one thing's for sure. Your Father in heaven wants what's best for you, knows what's best for you, and will do what's best for you. If you ask for patience, He will test you over and over and over again. If you ask to be more loving, more forgiving, He will put people in your life that will hurt you over and over and over again, and teach you that the only way to move forward is by forgiving them. If you want to be less angry, He will anger you over and over and over again, push you to your edge. And then once you're at the edge, you have your own free will to either get mad, explode like you always have, or breathe, pray, ask for the strength that you need at that moment, and handle things better. If you're asking for riches, if you're asking for a better life, He will put things in place for it to happen, but He's not going to give you no handouts. He's going to tell you got to work for this. And it's going to be really, really hard. If you're asking for the love of your life, your partner, if you're asking for things like that, He will put in place people different partners so you can see what you like and what you don't like. You might think that someone that came into your life is meant to stay in your life, and then it turns out that they were just a lesson, or they were just showing you what you don't want or showing you what you do want. And it'll show you that love is not just a feeling, but it's action, commitment, responsibility, courage, forgiveness, a lot of forgiveness. God teaches lessons. God is the greatest teacher in the world. We are just horrible students, and that's okay. As long as the message gets through, and as long as we don't take anything for granted, because God will not allow that which you lost to be the best you'll ever have. On to the next one. I was thinking about this maybe a couple weeks ago, and it's the concept of reaching escape velocity. Now, if you don't know what escape velocity is, it's kind of like a physics terms. When a rocket, correct me if I'm wrong, I am not sure, but this is what I think of when I hear escape velocity. When a rocket is taken off, there's initial like a huge propulsions, right? Like the rockets are firing up and they need a lot of force to get from the ground into the air and past the different levels of the atmosphere. And it needs to reach a certain escape velocity in order to punch through and then get into outer space. If it doesn't reach that velocity, it either explodes or comes down and it fails, right? And in business and life and goals, you want to reach that escape velocity. Everything else is working in your contrary, like it's working against you up until you reach that escape velocity, and everything just feels like it's fitting into place, and you reach that hockey stick moment where all of your work that you've ever done has been like this, and then out of nowhere, it's just, that's escape velocity. Now, I wrote this a couple weeks ago, and I read it recently, and I felt like I had to share it with you guys. It says, overnight success. He got lucky. He got it handed to him. These are proofs that you have reached escape velocity and everything is working out. Everything that came before that had to happen to get here. Good or bad. In the moment, you might have thought you'd never see the end of it. Constant stress, money leaving faster than you're receiving, people problems, relationship problems, problems with yourself. And at some point, all the questions you had get answered. The missing puzzle piece appears. It all clicks. And you are in this roller coaster that only goes up for hours, for days, weeks, and if you get lucky, years. That's what we all chase. That's the feeling of it all being worth it. But there's a caveat. What happens after? After your 30 seconds of fame, after your 30 seconds of money and success, what is left? Do you crash? Do you plateau? Do you conform? Keep going? Why did you even start this in the first place? You thought there was a finish line, but now you crossed it. It feels like you barely got started. Now, this is, I would almost say that this is a curse of entrepreneurship. This is a curse of being ambitious. That whenever you reach a goal and you've chased that goal, you've chased that finish line time and time and time again. And once you get there, you feel great for 30 seconds. And then you're like, what now? You know, you've focused, you've done so much, you've sacrificed, you've worked long hours for this exact moment. And you felt great for 30 seconds. And now you are left with this, right? You're left with your success. And because you have made the end goal your success, because you have made escape velocity, because you have made fame, money, and success your goal, once you get it, you quickly adapt. Humans are super adaptable. And now it just feels like another regular Tuesday. And you quickly realize that that wasn't the point. That was not what was going to fulfill you. That is not what you actually wanted. Sure, listen, I'm not saying that money doesn't solve problems. Money solves a lot of money problems, but money doesn't solve your problems, your internal problems, your happiness, your success, your wanting to be happy, right? And also on happiness, real quick, I think that chasing happiness is actually not a thing that we should be doing, because happiness is something based on a set of either people, a set of conditions, a set of things. And whenever something is taken from you, because you don't control everything, if something gets taken away from you, suddenly happiness is not there. I think that is a very fine line and very dangerous path to walk, the pursuit of happiness. I'd rather pursue peace, right? Because when you pursue peace and you do everything in your power to shield yourself, I think that's much better. But that would be another topic for another day. Anyways, when you make the finish line your goal, you will more than likely get it, especially if you're a person that relentlessly works. And when you get it, you'll feel great, but then you'll feel empty, and that's very dangerous. That's why a lot of people that are successful, they crash out, they look for drugs, they look for women, they look for men, they look for alcohol and all these other things to make them feel something. And that's not it. I think that instead of chasing an eternal green light or an eternal goalpost that just keeps moving, I think the whole point of this is to follow, love, and enjoy the journey. There's a reason why this podcast, this channel's main thing is the journey. I learned very early on that revenue goals, amount of money in the bank, things that I can afford, things that I can buy, things that make my life easier, they're great. And when I get them, they're great. But now that is the new reality. That is now something that is okay, that is normal. It's not any new thing. It doesn't bring enough excitement as the first time. And we are wired and we are taught that chasing A's, chasing perfect scores, perfect attendance, showing up, doing this, doing that, end results, we're taught that end results are the thing that we should do. We're not taught that everything leading up to that is the meat and bones, the meat and potatoes of the thing, right? The thing is not the ending. The thing is the journey towards the ending. That makes it all so much better. And so keep that in mind next time you're setting goals, right? Anybody can make $1 million business. Anybody can chase a girl and get them. Anybody can aspire to be great, famous, become like the richest person in the world. But what then? Sometimes you gotta do some internal work to realize that the journey that you're on is the blessing that you've been asking for this whole time, because it is a journey that makes you into a better person. It is the journey that will lead you to the places that you want to be, meet the people that you want to meet or that you need to meet. And the journey is what teaches you the type of person that you have to be in order to make your dreams come true. And that in itself is a lesson that no one else can teach you but yourself in the experience. So focus on the journey, not the finish line. And when you reach escape velocity, remember where you come from. Understand that God will not allow that which you lost to be the best you'll ever have. Understand that now is the perfect condition. Don't wait for later. Don't overanalyze. Don't be stuck in your future. Don't be stuck in your past. Stay present. Stay hungry, humble, and be thankful for where you are, what you have, the people around you. Never conform. Don't be comfortable when you are, even though that's where you want to be. But the eternal chase of being better is what makes you a better person, right? So I think that was it. That was kind of like a brain dump. Thank you very much for watching. Catch you guys in the next one. And if you guys have any topics you want me to discuss in kind of like videos like this, then great. If not, then stay tuned for future episodes. I'm building out some really cool guests that are coming back or new ones that are coming in. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, we'll catch you guys later. Thank you so much for listening and for watching. It really does mean the world to us, and we really appreciate every single one of you who sticks around all the way until the end. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, leave us a review on the podcast platform. It really does help us grow. And until next time, see you guys.